Okay, great. So our agent has told us that these buyer documents are ready to sign. And truly, it would be the same even if it was listing documents, just the process. So everything is ready in here. We're going to click on prepare signature. We're going to go ahead and name it. It automatically names it what the file is called, but I'm just going to rename it. And then we start talking about who needs to sign. So Stephanie is the buyer. Of course, Stephanie needs to sign. Here is me. I'm the test assistant. I do not need to sign this. I'll just receive a copy instead. Mark, being the agent, needs to sign. We're not working for the seller's agent, so we're not sending it to the seller or the seller's agent using Digisign. Technically, you could send it to the seller's agent in Digisign, but it's much better received if it can go from the agent's email along with a little note, whatever needs to be communicated. I'll click on next. Excellent. So along the top, it talks about signers. So Stephanie is the orange and the agent is the blue. And that comes in handy when you're looking at who's signing where. The documents are along the side on the left. And the recipients are also along the side. If you see that there's a mistake here, you can click on the three dots. You can click on edit recipients. And then you can edit them from here, or remove someone, add someone new. One thing I will say is you can add signer groups. So right now, both of these people are going to get an email at the exact same time. But let's say you want one of them to sign afterwards. You would just click on add signer group. Let's do that again. Click on add signer group, and then let's say the agent's going to sign second. So now who signs first? The buyer is going to sign, and then the agent's going to sign, and then the assistant's going to get a copy once everything's signed. And then you click on save. Excellent. Okay, so we can scroll through just like we did before. We can make sure that the signatures are everywhere they need to be. The template allows for a lot of the signatures to be already placed, but you still need to really look it over. So as I said before, the buyer has orange and the agent has the blue. I'll just move this date over and that'll help. Let's say that date just wasn't there at all. We can add it. You just click on date and then you click where you want the date. Now it added as orange, unfortunately, so I can just change that and now it's blue. So now the agent is going to have that date and the agent signature. Let's scroll through. As you can see, initials are already there. This is a good opportunity to look the forms over, make sure everything's exactly how you imagined it. Excellent. Just look for anything that might be missing. In this case, the template already knew. So there is a date missing here at the acknowledgement, and it's a date that the buyer is supposed to be acknowledging. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the date in here. Excellent. Schedule A. And the 801. There you go. The sellers aren't initialing yet. That'll happen afterwards. Excellent. The buyers will not be acknowledging yet either. They acknowledge once the offer is accepted and agreed upon. They're acknowledging that they've received a signed copy. Schedule A. So here's the Schedule B. So there's some blanks on the Schedule B. So this is where you can add a text field and you can add any of the text that you want to add. There you go. So the buyer's names should be there. So I'll go ahead and click full name. Go ahead and add the buyer name. For the sellers, it's not quite as easy. You'll just add a text box, and then I would normally go ahead and get the sellers' names from the listing. And I can paste it in this text box here, and that's probably the easiest way. You can do the same thing for the property. Lawson. Digisign is funny, like in the way that wherever you click, you're going to add a text box. So if you want to be able to click somewhere else, just make sure you unclick the field that you're working in. And then the date. So I actually don't like the way that looks. Let's make sure we remove that space so it can be a better size. Now, if you're struggling getting the sizes, like maybe one's big and one's small, the trick really is just to make it as short as possible. It'll help make all your text boxes and your letters the same size. So if you just drag it down to be as short as possible, it helps streamline the size of the text. Okay, now here I'll have to add a signature or an initial. So it's for the buyer, which is orange. I'm going to click on initial, and I'm going to put an initial where the buyer needs to initial. Okay, other than that, these ones automatically populated. That's great. Now this is the form about the conditions. So my buyer decided, or my agent's buyer decided, that they don't want a condition for financing or for inspection or for the sale of their property for that matter. So I forgot to add their address in here. I'm going to go ahead and add a text box here. So this is their address. I can go ahead and add it at this point, and then they're signing and dating, and it's ready. So because I'm not an agent, I'm not going to send this. I'm just going to save it. And now the agent I'm working for can go in and they can send it off and explain it all to the client and make sure the client fully understands. And at that point, when it's fully signed, it'll come back to you so you have a signed copy. So let me just show you what it looks like now. So now if you logged out and logged back in and you went to SkySlope Forms, this is your dashboard. You'll see this is the one that I just worked on. It goes based on the last one you opened, so it'll be at the very top. There's 22 forms in here. There's one envelope. If I click on it, it goes back into the forms. So I can add a form. I can make changes to it. But when your agent logs in, they're going to go to envelopes. And if they click on it from here, they can open it up, look it over, and click on send. Excellent. So that's save and exit. I will show you what it looks like for them to send it. So when they click on send, they'll have the opportunity to edit the email subject line. So offer for Lawson. They can use whatever subject line they want. And then they can also add some email message for the body of the signing. And they'll click on send for signatures. And now you know it's sent. So for you as an assistant to be able to log in and see what's happening with your envelope, so that's under envelopes, and you can see it was sent, how long ago it was sent. If there's more than one person that needs to sign, it'll also show you in this section who signed it. If it's been a little while and you want to remind someone, you can click on remind and resend, and then you can click on send reminder. This is also where you could go to edit an email address. If, for example, someone says that email address is no longer in service, you can click on the little pencil and go ahead and change the email address. And then click on done and it automatically sends it out again. So that is how you work with Digisign. It's pretty simple, just takes a little bit of practice. If you ever have any questions, you can always reach out to your front desk staff and we can help explain it to you.